Hello YouTube and welcome back to Psychology Everyday, day 93. Today it's finally Friday, which means Jungian Psychology 102. I've had a great time this week, learning and studying Jungian psychology, and of course I've been waiting to talk about it. I made a various bunch of other videos on other topics, and I was like, man, I can't wait for Friday because all I want to do is talk about Jungian psychology. So as I talked about in the previous episode, I do have some sort of knowledge about stuff like individuation and typology and stuff like that, and I decided to finally step into the realm of archetypes and symbols and learn what they are. And it is such a rabbit hole, and I'm completely addicted, to be honest, because what it means is that you get to consider all of the subtext surrounding various concrete facts, which is what does it mean when someone, I don't know, wears a cross, except that, maybe they're Christian. What does the cross symbolize? All of us in the Western world have some sort of collected ideas surrounding the cross, much like we have, surrounding ideas of the word car. If I say car, you're going to think of something, and, our collective idea of what a car is sort of the archetype, I guess, because when talking about archetypes, there are, as far as I know, I'm not an expert, I'm learning, take it with a grain of salt. The four basic Jungian archetypes from the beginning, I have them on the wall right here. It's the self, the shadow, the persona, and then the anima slash animus. And I'm going to talk more about the anima slash animus maybe next time, because I haven't really gotten to digest it yet. But it has something to do with the yin and yang symbol, I think. And the self is basically all of you, the conscious and the unconscious, and everything in between and around. The symbol for that, one of the symbols for the self, is a mandala. But spoiler, I'm renovating a room. I'm making a long video about it, and it's gonna be great. But I made one thing here. The theme of the room is basically Jungian psychology, but I made this. Well, I didn't make the mask. I bought the mask at a flea market, but then I added the board and a little thing to hang it up by. And the mask is basically the prime symbol for the persona, because as we go out into the world, and perhaps even when looking at ourselves, we put on a mask, and which is basically a social construction, I guess. And of course, this creates a shadow, because if I put this on, there's going to be shadow all over my face. So I made this to demonstrate how behind the mask there is a shadow covering up gold, which for me is, either spirituality, your real self, or, individuation. You can think of it as if you take off the mask and dare to, shed light on the shadow, you will get the gold at the end of the rainbow. I thought it was kind of cool. And besides, this made better decor in the room than just hanging up the mask. So, drop a like for, I don't know what to call it. I'm not going to call it like Bert or whatever. Besides that, I have watched, one of the things that got me into psychology to begin with, and that has stuck with me ever since, is the I think it's a 3-hour lecture by Jordan Peterson where he does a Jungian analysis of The Lion King. If you haven't seen it, I highly recommend it, and it's just a fantastic lecture. Still, as I've continued to watch additional lectures on YouTube, and people talk about psychology, philosophy, stuff like that, and I've been to university, I've gone to many lectures. This is just an amazing piece of art, and even if you hate the guy, some people actually despise Jordan Peterson infinitely, and he has become a political figure in many ways. Even then, you have to watch that if you're interested in Jungian psychology, because it's absolutely brilliant. And I watched The Lion King yesterday, and I decided to. It's been a while since I saw the lecture, and I didn't want to refresh my memory. Instead, I watched the movie and I did my own analysis of it. And one of the assignments that we do have in this course that I'm taking is sort of free in what we get to do. And I have sent in a request to do a Jungian analysis of one or several Disney movies, because they are very much archetypal, whatever, stories, which is why they're so good, the old ones. You have, if you're just talking about The Lion King, and again, I'm not an expert, and I'm not, maybe some of this is from the Jordan Peterson lecture that I remember subconsciously, or maybe it's just trash, but basically, Scar and Mufasa symbolize Cain and Abel, right? And you have the Shadow Valley, which is basically Mufasa's shadow, and that ends up being his death, of course. And then you have Scar, that is sort of the shadow of Mufasa as well, because Mufasa is the strong, courageous king, and Scar is a tyrant, which is an easy way to say a shadow figure of something is just the toxic version, right? Then you have the hyenas, which in Jungian psychology symbolizes the shadow. And basically these are, you sort of have the bitterness of Scar, and he, instead of being competent, he just riles up all of the creatures that have been forgotten, and that I don't know how to put it. It's hard putting these words into thought, but basically they are the criminals, and they are the common factor between Scar and the hyenas is that they are overly pragmatic to the point of being Machiavellian. Like, they will do anything and everything to get what they want, except be moral and work hard. So, always looking for the shortcuts, and, overly pragmatic is sort of the shadow form of the hyena, I guess. Maybe. Then, you have, of course, Simba, which the story is about, and how he fails at first to fulfill his own destiny, and he ends up with Timon and Pumbaa, which they are the hippies, Hakuna Matata, peace and love, but they are also helpless and resignated, and you can see this in the scene where they talk about food, and Simba of course wants to eat buffaloes or whatever, and they are like, no, we eat bugs, which symbolizes the scraps, basically. So they are the light version sort of the hyenas, I guess. Both are a group of losers, unwilling to put in the effort and the action. And then you sort of have the meta perspective that my analysis can be analyzed, where I put them in these sort of pockets, and yeah, it's just infinitely interesting, and I can't wait. I have a lecture today, which is basically the first one. We have had an introduction in Tuesday, but today, in just 10 minutes or whatever, the first real one is gonna start, and I'm so pumped. And tonight I am watching Alladin, and tomorrow or Sunday night I'm watching Hercules again. And after I've done that, because these are the three main ones that I'm interested in, if there is some other one that you think is super fitting for, I know some of you Jungians are watching this. If you have any recommendation of what would be the best, Disney movie to make an analysis of, please let me know in the comments, and I will add it to the list. When I've done my own analysis of each of these, I'm going to write it down. I'm going to really think about it as well as I can. And then I'm going to watch that lecture again by Jordan Peterson. And then I'm going to ask ChatGPT, because ChatGPT does an amazing job of, bringing forth symbolism and stuff like that. Is actually one of the things that it does best, because, of course, it has an immense knowledge base of, religion, mythology, history, and, quotes and whatever. So that is all for today. Now I'm going to unpack these three books. That is part of the course lecture, and it's gonna be good. So if you want to watch me unpack the books, stay around for 3 more minutes. If not, have a great day. Please like and subscribe. I'm just gonna get the books. They're right here. In the course you got to there was actually like, I don't know, 15 books listed, but depending on the subject that you choose to do your assignments to, you get to do 1 or 2. You have to do 1, can do 2. There's different books that are differently suited for the various tasks. Now there is a book called Raskolnikov, which is a Jungian analysis of the book Crime and Punishment, which I do believe would be a very good idea for me to get. But I think I'll do fine with these books. Book number 1, let's have a look. Answer to Job. I don't know. Oh, it's about the books of Revelation. This is probably an amazing book. And it was not super thick, which I enjoy, because Jung always writes, it's so dense in a very good way. It's super fascinating, but, the book over there, which is my favorite book so far, an amazing book, I still haven't gotten through it, because I keep getting stuck on, these amazing insights and ideas. Book number 2. Let's see what this is. The Religious Man or Human. This is actually by Anton Giels and Ove Wikström. And this is about religion psychology and religion history. And this is very important when doing Jungian analysis. Apparently, I don't know. And finally, we have the last book. Let's see what it is. I should remember what it is. I ordered them after all, but I don't. Oh, now I remember. I did read Jung's autobiography, and it was so good that I gave it to my, I don't know what it's called, my wife's brother, and he lives super far away, and you know, I'm not going to reclaim a gift even though I actually need it, and I always wanted to have it in Swedish. The one that I read was in English, and it's fine, but I prefer reading in Swedish. Let's see it. Carl Gustav Jung, My Life, Memories, Dreams, Reflections. This is a super banger. You should get it. It's just mind-blowingly good. Amazing. Have a great day, everyone, and I will see you tomorrow.